I'm going to talk about the reception of our reviews. A lot is changing, arguably, in the scenario. It's a new landscape of movies, new kind of sound, Hindi. The song is changing. Everything is changing. Has the attitude towards reviews changed? Has anyone started taking it more seriously or saying that it is a valid voice? If we are the sort of flag bearers of new Bollywood, I'm talking about filmmakers here or actors here, then this is a culture that we also need to encourage, this objective reviewing, whether it goes against me or goes for me.
That's never going to happen.
No.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that, man? Because
they see it as at best they see it as a necessary evil.
Yeah. Or a potential source of advertising.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what it always remains.
Even the new guys, I mean, why is that?
Something that's I found fairly amazing. One of the things we wanted to do on my television show was to show the film a few days before release to an audience and have the filmmaker interact with that audience. I'm not talking about what I think about the film. I've not told those guys what I think about the film. And when we pitched this, everybody was like, rubbish. Kaun dikhayega? Nobody's going to do it. But in fact, 3 guys have done it. Anurag Kashyap did it with Gangs. Dibakar did it with Shanghai. Ram Gopal Verma did it with Department. So the fact is they were willing to come on television and debate with regular viewers. And those are not viewers I know or I'm picking my friends. They're just random people who like movies who would pay for money and who will pay money and go to see a movie. And so these guys were open enough to have that discussion. And really, Ramo's discussion was fairly tough. I felt bad for him, because they were like, they weren't rude at any level, but they were frank. And it was a bad film, and they didn't say like, oh, you made a shitty film, but they were all like, you're not the same Ram Gopal Verma. And to see that, to have that in your face is fairly tough. But the fact that filmmakers are willing to do this, I think is wonderful, but you have to remember that that's just one part of the story. On the other hand, we are not going to be shown Bol Bachchan because they will not expose that film to us before Friday morning.
Really, the change would be when Rohit Shetty agreed to be on this thing and showed you the film 3 days early.
In Hollywood, and Rajiv and I go for these junkets all the time. We see movies months in advance. We sign NDAs. I have talked to every single studio head about trying to do this in India. Even Aditya Chopra, I've accosted him on a flight and said, please, can we not move a step further? They won't do it. They won't
finish their sound mixing 2 days before.
Yeah, that's true. I was just going to say that.
Bol Bachchan might not have done yet.
Yeah, no, that's the reason.
No, but even guys who have it ready will not show it. Will not show it.
So I'm just going to turn this on you now.
Okay.
Because I think that's the only way I can explain the question. A lot of filmmakers who you would imagine, because they are so open to debate on cinema, and who are saying that I'm making a certain kind of film, when they react to reviews, like, how could you have given me a bad review? Where's that coming from? That is, and I know that, I don't know about you guys, but I know you've been through it. For example, this was out there, we all saw it, which is why I can say it, when Anurag tweeted saying, this is what happens when you watch movies with, I don't even remember what it was, with not a clear mind or whatever.
Not an indulgent mind,
I don't know what he said, but
to your review of Gangs.
Yeah. He tweeted that. Raja said, this is what happens when you don't watch movies with a clear mind, or something which I didn't understand what he was trying to say. But it seemed like, he'd figured out why Raja didn't like it. Whatever he said is fine. But basically, he didn't watch it with a clear mind or whatever. That is what I wanted to talk about. Essentially.
See, I think it's, it would have surprised me earlier. It's now that you realize that pretty much, they're all going to react to a certain way, to criticism a certain way. Some of them can take it, and some of them can't.
Can anyone take it?
No.
I don't think anyone can take it.
I think it's just people who've been able to take it. I don't think anyone can.
No, I don't know.
Actually, that brings me to the question of snark.
No, here's this. One second. Pragya, here's this thing, right? Here you are writing a review of someone's work, and you're trashing that work, let's say. That person comes back and says, listen, I don't like your reviews. I think it's fair game.
Yeah.
Totally.
But then that's what I'm saying. When you do it in a certain way, you counter it with argument. You don't say Raja's
grander personality, engaging the world in the larger debate about arts.
I remember many years ago, when I had just started and I had reviewed a certain filmmaker's film, and he called me up in the middle of the night. I got this drunken, angry phone call, which was all about "Maine tumhara kya bigada hai?" That is the most. And I really wasn't sure how to respond to that. I was like, shit. I mean, everyone killed the film, but it wasn't. It's one of those things.
I don't know. I've never met anyone
who completely immune to it.
Who's sporting about criticism.
Like what?
Maybe in retrospect, maybe much later, but instantly.
But is it a question of snark as well? Then I mean, is this? There was a Telegraph article. I'm not UK Telegraph article.
Yeah, to save reviewing from
that if you want
snarky comments.
If you want criticism to be taken seriously, you should cut the snark out, because then it's.
No, I'm sorry. No, I mean. There's style in filmmaking, there's style in writing. And in reviewing, of course not. Why? I mean...
If you create something that makes us need to vent, we vent.
Yeah.
But I have to put on the record that Priyanka Chopra was really gracious when I totally slammed Anjana Anjani and then had to interview her the same day. Like, I slammed it in the morning. In the afternoon, I had to interview her for Vogue. And
but I think there's also... I think there's also...
What are they going to say? They're not going to...
No. I think that was the desired... That's exactly the desired result. I mean, your reaction...
About Priyanka?
Yes, I think that's exactly what she wanted. I think it's paid off now, right here at this moment. Yeah. I think that's exactly gracious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, what is she going to do?
I don't mean her particularly. I think that's exactly. A lot of them react. I mean, and I also think that it's different between actors and filmmakers. I think that filmmakers have a lot more at stake.
It's their film.
Yeah, and to go into details, I mean, Anjana Anjani opened very big. I don't know, but no. I think it boils down to the fact that Anu's going to remember it someday. She's going to say it at some point.
Motivated
she didn't talk to me for about a year because she didn't give me an interview for a year after Krish. She didn't give me an interview for a year after Krish. I sent her a whole bunch of messages.
Your kites review.
She was in Kites?
No, but she
I think this was one of the conflicts that I went through very early, like maybe about 10 years back. Because I was starting out as a journalist, and what I really wanted to do was write about films, right? But when you write about films, you have to write about people who are in the film industry, which, so you actually meet those people, and there'll always be, you see a face, to a review each time. And the only thing, the way I resolved that conflict was that actually meeting people from the films, spending a lot of time with them, I learn a lot more about filmmaking and perspective, which a lay reader may not have. So I can actually use all that into a review if those conversations are constructive. And so while there could be a clash in that sense, but it's really for the better of the review in its own way.
Yeah,
are you getting?
Yeah.
I would do that in the review.
Yeah.
I would do that in a column space. I would do that in a feature I was writing. In the review, not as much.
But he's saying that he brings more.
It enriches his own understanding of cinema in a very.
No argument there at all.
That classic argument of पहले film में बनाना सीखो फिर criticize karna.
That I have a serious problem.
But that is really I don't even want to address it on this. I am making a statement. This is not going to be discussed on this table.
That's just asking Harsha Bhogle to back. I mean, it's crazy.
That and Priyanka Chopra.